Lino Brocka film has a very, very rough but real texture.
Very strict director si Lino. He requires his actors to be always prepared. Set,
May relasyon ba kayong dalawa?
Ba't di siya ang tatanungin?
Sagutin mo ko!
Ano ba sa palagay niyo?
Isang sagot lang ang kailangan ko. Oo o hindi.
Oo.
Hindi mo na ako makasaktan, Inay. Hindi na! Bakit inaakaw mo siya sa akin?
Hindi ko siya inaagaw sa inyo.
Ako ang mahal niya at hindi kayo! Sinungaling!
Magtatanong kami, lalayo kami rito at pakakasalan niya ako. Wala kayong kwenta sa kanya.
Hindi ako naniniwala sa'yo.
Huwag niyong hawakan yan! Putang ina niyo! Huwag niyong hawakan yan! Sige yan! Tama na yan!
Sa eskwelahan ka na naman galing.
Eh marami pong pinagawa si Miss Santos eh.
Maraming pinagawa. Gabing-gabi na kung saan ka nagbababad.
Inalugod kong buong Maynila. Pero wala si Ligaya.
film director Lino Brocka, I found really very intense and straightforward. Yun nga, I have mentioned earlier, very strict director si Lino. He requires his actors to be always prepared on the set, di ba? To have their lines ready and di ba? To fully and focus on the scenes that have to be worked on.
Paliligayahin kita. Higit pa sa ginawa sa'yo ng nasira mong asawa. Ayun ka! Oscar! Sige!
The Lino Brocka to me Lino Brocka film has a very, very rough but real texture. It depicted real life. It depicted the life of most Filipinos, which is sad to say most of us are underprivileged economically and politically. But that is the kind of scene that he was more or less attracted to. The scene na totoo, the scene that was real, the scene that's real life.
I'd like to make with the least compromise. And to do that, you have to change the system. You cannot just sort of confine yourself to the problems of movie making.
You cannot, for example, separate what is happening in the country, the realities around with the reality of filmmaking. You cannot. When our eyes were open and we sort of got enlightened and sort of got politicized, you realize that the problems of filmmaking is the same problem of the labor and the peasants and all the other sectors.
Ibang klase nga yung ideas niya, iba yung and what's great about it, it's pag nakita mo yung end result, makikita mo yung pinagtrabahuan niya, di ba, na epektibo, na kaya sa akin, di ba, I don't mind working hard for Lino kasi makikita mo yung end result yung kita mo nga naman, di ba, yun ang kinalalabasan, parating maganda ika nga.
I think that his honesty and his simplicity as a human being, as a filmmaker was paramount. I mean, was my favorite thing about him. He set a kind of tone at the set that he was very professional, but it was not detached. It was not. You would still feel attached to him as a human being and not just.
See him as somewhere up high.
Yeah, na takot ka, na you were giving your best because you were scared. You were giving your best because you knew that he believed in you, otherwise wala ka dun sa project na yun. And he would quietly make you understand that. Na parang, if I didn't believe in you, you wouldn't be here now. So that was how he was. And boy, I miss him so much.
Bakit? Meron ka ba bang pupuntahan? Maglalakad-lakad lang ako. Hindi ka ba papagod? Hindi pa. Ito nga pala yung perang hindi mo para sa akin.
Huwag na, baka
Sige.
may paggagamitan mo.
Soli mo na lang yung sa hiniraman mo.
Sige.
About 9 films with Lino. Diba, syempre, iba-iba yun. Iba-ibang kwento lahat yun. Again, babalik tayo niya sa Maynila kasi yun pa rin para sa akin ang pinaka-special na ginawa ko with him. Diba? Kasi nga, first major role yon, di ba? Na from nowhere. Hindi naman ako talaga artista. Hindi ko naman sa panaginip, hindi pumasok sa isip ko yung maging artista. So I call myself an accidental actor.
We make noise when, definitely when an episode, for example, like on the urban poor, presenting the problems of the urban poor, showing these people making statements saying that they were poor during the Marcos administration, they're still poor under the Cory administration.
The New People's Army is welcomed by the people. It is loved by the people. It's supported by the people.
Napakalaking impluensya ni Lino as far as relevance is concerned. Lahat nga ng mga mensahe na gusto niyang palabasin ay maliwanag na maliwanag sa mga pelikula ginagawa niya. At alam mong sadya yun, di ba? Talagang pinrabaho niya yun na lumabas lahat ng gusto niya palabasin, di ba? Yung katotohanan at in an artistic way. Alam mong pinag-isipan, alam mong pinitrabahuan yung mga pelikula niya. I may sound biased, but I think most, if not all, of Lino's films were successful for the simple reason that it always shows the truth and di ba, yung alam mong galing puso yung pinaghihirapan niya para nga sa ma-enjoy ng mga manonood yung creation niya, yung direction niya.
The Lino Brocka films then was relevant because it made people conscious of how it is to live as a real human being in our community, in that kind of government, the oppression, the underprivileged, and so it was brought to light because otherwise I don't think that at that time, I think that I said this is during the time of martial law and so not a lot was. It was always like the first ladies and it was always like the good and the beautiful, but that's not the whole of life. There's the good and the beautiful, but there's also the ugly truth about how we really live. And so his bringing it to light became like it screamed like it screamed of wanting change, wanting awareness, and wanting change in people's lives, and the government saying things could be better.